Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Head, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion. Your host, and welcome back to Baseball Head 2. Hope you like this video and hit that subscribe button. So the White Sox, Chicago White Sox are cratering to infamy. Gonna break the all-time loss record, and they're gonna be the worst team in the history of baseball. They're gonna just shatter the 1962 New York Mets 120 loss season. And doesn't look like it's going to get any better next year. It's from the Bleacher Report. I can't believe I'm reading this to you. White Sox won't work heavy in MLB free agency after historic struggles, the GM says. Oh, you don't say. This is great. The White Sox will be breaking the bank during let me say this again. The Chicago White Sox will not be breaking the bank during the 2025 free agency. During an appearance on the team's Friday night broadcast on NBC Sports Chicago, General Manager Chris Getz revealed that the team does not have plans to address its issues with splashy free agent signings. Instead, will focus on the talent in the organization. Quote, "We're not going to be working heavy in free agency," Getz said on the White Sox broadcast. "We've got guys out in the field right now that need to improve their game. A lot of these guys are young players and need to make the adjustments to be more productive." Oh, you think so? I would mention Chris Getz is the assistant general manager who was under Ken Williams and was hired by Jerry Reinsdorf, the owner. Why he hired him, he should have been fired along with the other guy. His wife gets his name. It doesn't matter. What matters is the White Sox are terrible, and they're not going to get any better. The White Sox are currently 35 and 115, and on pace for the worst record since MLB began, playing 162 games in a season. The White Sox are just 4 losses away from the Detroit Tigers' 49 and 119 record for 2003, which is the worst of the 21st century. The 1962 New York Mets had the modern MLB record with 120 losses. Chicago would need to go 7-5 for the rest of the season to avoid exceeding that number. Whether or not the team hits that unfortunate milestone, it has been a disastrous year on the South Side, and major changes would appear to be inevitable. However, the first-year GM's approach appears to be aligned with making responsible decisions that don't derail the team further. And you'd have to pay some free agent a boatload more money to convince him to go to a team that's going to lose next year, and probably the next few years. The White Sox farm system ranks 11th in MLB, according to MLB.com, and possesses 4 prospects ranked in the top 100 in the league. This places the system in the top half of MLB, and a top 5 pick in the 2025 MLB draft should improve this. However, this idiot doesn't get it. They're not going to get a top 5 pick next year because they're so bad, and they had a lottery pick last year. They're going to be the number 10th pick. This dope, who the hell wrote this? Who wrote this? He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Jack Murray, you're a moron. Because they're not going to be able to get a top pick. They're going to get a top 10 pick. Additionally, the team could move players like Luis Robert Jr. in the offseason and recoup further assets to improve the future. While adding some free agents could improve the play on the field in 2025, it may not be enough to push the team toward the postseason. Postseason? You want to be able to win 70 games. This team's not going to win 40 games. Chicago currently has the 18th highest payroll in MLB. They do? How? And Sport Track. So spending toward the league average did not pay off in 2024. Instead, it looks like the White Sox will look to the future and embrace a few more difficult seasons. This is bad. This is about as bad as it gets, folks. I mean, the White Sox aren't getting a top 10 pick. They're going to get the 10th pick. That's it. Because they were a lottery pick last year. You can't repeat lottery picks now with the draft lottery. That's something that MLB put in place in the last few years that the players' union agreed upon. They don't want teams tanking. They're tanking, but clearly they don't understand that they're not getting the top pick here. Does this general manager understand that? I don't know if he understands it. It doesn't seem like he understands it, because if he understood it, he wouldn't be doing this. He wouldn't be saying that they're going to do all this stuff with they're not going to do certain things for this team. It doesn't make any sense. But then again, when you lose this badly, it doesn't make sense. Again, In 2021, they brought back Tony La Russa. They won 93 games. Just think about how they have fallen. That year, they won 93 games. They won the division, went to postseason. They were a good team. In 2022, the media complained about Tony La Russa being out of style. He wasn't down with the program, if you know what I mean. He wasn't feeling. He was having to deal with some health issues. They basically pushed him out. The team went 81-81. In 2023, they brought in Pedro Grifo, basically a diversity hire, because the ownership was forced. The media forced ownership to hire this guy, and the general manager hired him. They won 61 games. You go from 81 wins to 61 wins, 93, 81, 61. This team has won, 33 games this year? Let me go back to this. So this is a complete total collapse of an organization. 35. So they went from 93 to 81 to 61 to 35. What's next year? 17? All because they listened to the media and fired Tony La Russa. Tony La Russa has a brand. He's a Hall of Fame manager for a reason, even though he was very old. The way he was doing things was the right way, and they won. And look how it completely collapsed after he left. That's a vindication of him as a manager. And nobody talks about it. Except for myself. No one talks about it. Well, you let me know what you think about this video. Of course, please subscribe to Baseball Hut 2. And I'll see you later.